Up front, I don't know exactly what this article is all about, but I've seen Russell Brand make the kind of the news commentary circles recently because a hit piece has been put out about him being branded right wing, which is, of course, hilarious. And right wing designation from legacy media outlets at this point just means based and red pilled. No, I'm just anybody who is running counter to the narrative. And what's the narrative? It's exactly what you think it is, whatever the legacy media is pushing. So that's what the brand of right wing means. And Russell Brand, he's, of course, and I hate to use that old hack cliche, classical liberal tag, but he's one of those guys who's on the right. He came up and he was a comedian, he was an actor, and that's not exactly the space that I know him from or appreciate him from. I was a fan of his podcast from way back in the cut, especially when Jordan Peterson was out there making the rounds the first time around before he went and did his dalliance for a couple of years when he was recovering from benzodiazepine and all that kind of stuff as well. But the first time around, he was a little bit more, maybe he wasn't, maybe it was the times, okay? And I'd have to go back and I'd have to watch everything back again, but he was categorized as being more on the left on the spectrum. If you were to take a look at the political compass of things or whatever, he was more or less just kind of one of those, like I said, classical liberals, one of those leave me alone left-leaning types. I liked him. I liked his podcast, his presentation on there, and after he, just kind of transitioned away from Hollywood, he was always still a very funny guy, and he's a very good conversationalist and an excellent host on the podcast. I liked what I was hearing, okay? And then, he started to make his transition more into the discussion realm of things, and I've seen his podcast grow and grow and grow. It's not like I've been a avid listener or avid watcher or anything like that, but I've been aware of it, and he's gotten big-name guests, and he's had very important and very cordial conversations with a whole host of people, okay? He's been doing a very good job, and he's been getting attacked because whenever somebody starts to grow and prosper and kind of start to puncture the certain narratives that are out there and form the cracks that are forming, and especially when it comes from somebody who the legacy media could perceive as being a traitor for asking those important questions, they start to go hard, okay? So Russell Brand, he was getting attacked for having a successful platform on YouTube and not using it to push the narrative. Instead, he started to open up a Rumble page, and on any given day, you can go to the Rumble homepage, and if he's not in the big featured window, he's right on the editor's side, and he's always there, and he's always talking about the hot button issues of the day and whatever little 10, 20, 30-minute long increments, and he seems to do a very good job. It's very popular, of course, so that would be why the hit piece came out on him. So what is the hit piece about? I don't really know, but that's what we're going to find out. Mainstream media, government, big business operating in unison to benefit themselves and disadvantage you, according to Russell Brand. Yeah, and where's the lie on that one? That's what everybody's been observing for a while, but he's starting to vocalize it. And his audience itself is not your normal podcast viewing audience, okay? It's from a whole host of places because, Russell Brand is a very popular comedian who's a very popular actor in the, late 2000s, 2010s, and then he just started to change his life quite a bit. He got away from Katy Perry's crazy ass and great tits. And then, so he started to move into the more conversational realm of things. So, English actor, comedian, Russell Brand slammed the mainstream media in Britain when he attempted to turn him into their very own Joe Rogan-style figure of controversy, proclaiming, "We've been accused of being anti-vax simply for saying unvaccinated people might have rights." Yeah, exactly. Because anybody more successful than the legacy media needs to be taken down, needs to be held accountable for their misinformation. The establishment and mainstream media are coming for me and coming for this channel, saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, a right-wing nut, and an anti-vaxxer. He is really anything but, okay? He's always been funny, and I can say that wholeheartedly. Early there was an exchange, and this was probably late 2000s or something. It was a clip on Opie and Anthony, because he was there on a couple of different occasions, by the way. So that's why I've known he's been a good egg for a minute. But no, he was on, I'm pretty sure it was Morning Joe, and they were getting things incredibly wrong about his recent comedy tour, and he tore them apart mercilessly. So they have a sore spot when it comes to him. If you can find that clip, it's very funny, and he gives zero shits when it comes to, I'm pretty sure it's Mika Brzezinski that he's tearing apart. Anyways, if you don't think that I'm those things, and I don't think that I'm those things, could there be any reason why the mainstream media and establishment want to shut down open discourse and dissent? Exactly for the reasons that you highlight there. Because they want to shut down open discourse and dissent, because there is one proper perception of the world. It's the one that they push. Anybody poking holes into their sacred cow must be abolished, because they're right when it comes to this, and you are wrong. Brand addressed the establishment press, calling him the new Joe Rogan. Thanks for the compliment, but then that's also kind of a backhand to Joe Rogan that they've just kind of moved on to him because they've successfully censored him. Because, yeah, he bent the knee and he's like, why does anybody take my apology? And it's like, yeah, you just bitched up. Last week, two major British newspapers likened for getting Sarah Marshall star I Never Seen It and comedian turned YouTube commentator to American comedian and podcaster Joe Rogan, who became a fixation of the establishment media for his refusal to follow the party line on various issues. Now, on the other side of the Atlantic, Brand finds himself under attack for similar reasons. The initial articles have been provoked by video we did about Justin Trudeau. Oh, thank God. I'm glad some people are at least taking him seriously instead of just dismissing him with just whatever Rogan did. Oh my God, fucking post-millennial. If the guys would just get off his dick for a second, it's fucking embarrassing. Oh, he blasts Justin Trudeau for his power grab. It's like, cool. What does that mean in the big term if you don't actually delve into any of the information? Oh, he had a backhanded remark for him and a witty quip. Cool. Saying that his invocation, he's a smart guy, of the Emergency Act and refusal to rescind it entirely in case of certain financial components against peaceful trucker protests smacks of the kind of authoritarianism that might diminish his right to overtly condemn anti-democratic actions elsewhere. That's what we said. Now you know why they're going after him, because of the way that he can eloquently lay out a topic such as that. If he just said that off the top of his head, big kudos to him, because I would just say that Justin Trudeau's being a leftist cunt. But again, he understands the topic that he's talking about. That's why he's so dangerous to the legacy narrative. Now, we've been accused of being anti-vax simply for saying unvaccinated people might have rights. I feel like I just read that. Anyways, what I said is perhaps people are reluctant to become vaccinated, shouldn't be treated as criminals, condemned and treated as social pariahs, Brand clarified. That's, yeah, where's the lie and what's wrong with that? The comedian went on to declare the mainstream media is not your friend. Based. The culture is not your friend. Super based. The government is not your friend. Oh my God, tell me more. Big business is not your friend. They're operating congenially. I butchered that. Sorry, congenially. In unison, to create a system that is beneficial to them and disadvantage you. Why exactly do they want to do that? Well, it's pretty obvious, okay? If they tell you that they have all the answers, but then they keep treating you like shit, like they are, by treating everybody who doesn't fall in line with them as the other, you don't want to find yourself in the other. That's why you need to continue to do what big business, what the government, what mainstream media are telling you exactly what to do, and they'll take care of you. They just keep, shifting on what you need to do to be in their favor, right? Because it used to be, oh, okay, just wear a mask. Okay, just get the jab. Okay, you're going to need another jab. Okay, then you're going to need a booster. Okay, and then you're probably going to need a second booster and still continue to wear your mask. But hey, we got your back on this one. You're one of the good people that are out there. That's just one example, but you can find them in a litany of other analogous situations. To Brand's point, corporate media, mega corporations, and big tech conglomerates have all been on the receiving end of an avalanche of criticism in recent weeks over scandals that involved them defending Democrats and the liberal agenda. They have it pointed out here, and I'll probably just get ahead of that. Yeah, finally admitting in just a throwaway article that, oh yeah, the Hunter Biden laptop, yeah, that was legit. Imagine that. Did you guys know that the president's son dropped off a laptop that had so many damning accusations there. It's fucking wild. Imagine if we had this information and it wasn't Russian disinformation in October 2020. It's amazing that this information is out here after everybody's safely been fortified into their positions in the government. It's fucking wild. Why didn't anybody bring this to our attention earlier? The elite press suffered, the ultimate fake news humiliation last week. Is it really humiliation if they could just kind of toss that out there? One of the biggest stories of 2020, okay? One of the biggest stories that they swept under the rug, okay? By swept, I mean had everybody lift up the big fucking rug. It was pushed under there so deeply, and then it was stapled and glued and fucking fortified to the ground with every fucking adhesive imaginable. And then it was given a little fucking air hole in March of 2020. Cool, yeah. Big humiliation. The only one who's humiliated is anybody who still looks and expects any sort of truth and honesty to come out of the New York Times. With the co-founder of NewsGuard, the establishment news rating project. Anybody who uses NewsGuard still should probably just have their beanie shrunk one size just to continue to further to cut off any of the blood flow that still might be going up there. I don't know who I'm referencing there. That presents itself as a source of expert knowledge on which news sources can be trusted and which ones cannot. If you guys wonder how I pick my sources, you probably see the same, kind of circle, or rather cycle of sources from time to time. But then every once in a while, I like to grab something off to the side. I just use common sense, really. If something doesn't really seem to add up, I've taken Breitbart to task. I've taken New York Post to task, Daily Mail. Epoch Times is pretty much neutral. And you know what? Hey, if they ever repost anything from AP, I'll just drag it for that. But I just use, common sense and run it through my own filter to see if there's anything fucked up on this. And I don't trust, anybody really, or anything, especially a paid third-party service. Oh, we're going to tell you what's true and what's not. That's literally like still turning on the 6 o'clock news, expecting them to not propagandize you. You're out of your tree if you still believe that. Anyways, finding itself in the awkward situation after initially labeling the Hunter Biden laptop story a Russian hoax, and they refused, this is NewsGuard, by the way, to reverse that decision. Okay, oh no, it's in the past. Stop looking at that stuff. We deal with news, and news is in the now. Cool. The point of this channel, this is going back to Russell Brand, sorry for that detour a little bit, but I found it necessary. The point of this channel is to have an open conversation, and much of what we do is about critiquing news, Brand exclaimed, or explained, whatever. We're looking at news and analyzing news. That's what we're doing. Just to be clear, we're not claiming to be a news channel, and the idea of misinformation, this is opinion. And again, just trying to nail down what the accepted definition of misinformation, disinformation is. It's just when cowards don't want to just label somebody as a liar because they want to have their own wiggle room just in case the science, the information, the facts change on a subject. They want to push a narrative. If somebody is against that, you're pushing misinformation, disinformation, harmful, hateful, fake news, you fucking bigot, so that they can just pivot a little while later whenever something just becomes a little bit more politically expedient or a little bit more convenient for them to admit. That's because misinformation and disinformation, those labels, really, they've just kind of gained prominence since 2020, 2018, maybe a little bit before that, okay? Somewhere in that realm, right around when Trump and everybody just started to lose their fucking mind, even though they had done so a long time before that, but we need not tread up that old stuff. Anyways, just those labels of you're not right, but we won't necessarily tell you that you're wrong. You're just, you're not wrong. You're just misinformed on the topic. You don't know everything that we know. Well, would you like to tell us what we're wrong about? No. Just know that you're wrong. And any further questions into that, all you need to do is just continue to tune off your own independent thought and just listen and believe. Russell Brand's not doing that. I'm not doing that. We're not even close to being on the same plane. But what we do here is very, very similar. Okay, we're analyzing the news. We're analyzing the articles that are out there and trying to disseminate the information as appropriately as possible, at least to the best of my abilities. But with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.